Hey everybody, welcome to Brick Vault. Today is another LEGO Weekly News Update. I really like this week. It's got sort of a perfect amount of different types of stories all going on within the LEGO community from this last week. Links to everything I'm talking about and more are all in the description below if you want to get even more info or the original sources. And before I jump in, first I do want to say that the custom building instructions that have popped up in the web store this week come from the designer Alex Capodre, and these are 3 new nanoscale Star Wars ships. There's the Pelta-class frigate, the Consular-class cruiser, and the Hammerhead corvette. All of these models scale with the Star Destroyer Eviscerator, plus the rest of the nanoscale fleet. There are some great little design choices in here, some wonderful looking little nanoscale models, and if you wanted to get the building instructions, you can find them at our web store, www.brickvault.toys. And let's jump into the top story of the week, which I think is the reveal of the Eternals sets, or perhaps better stated, the official reveal. There were definitely some of these picks floating around for a while, some new stuff too. Let's start small and go big. The Eternals Aerial Assault set is just $10, comes with 2 figs, Sprite, and Icarus. This is an interesting brick-built figure that seems to be the whole set. There seems to be some strength and posability to this guy, and I'm loving that mold that can be found at the ends of the wings. I like that the set comes with so many of those new pieces. Deviant Ambush is the next one at $20, 200 pieces, 3 minifigures, and another larger monster that has a similar color combination as the last. I am 100% behind sets coming with more dark blue and dark red. I think this monster actually has kind of a fun, flowy feel to it. And then the initial sort of low-res pictures of this set didn't really have me too excited, but I do like the way this looks. This is in Arashem's Shadow, 493 pieces, $60, 4 figs. There's an interesting sort of Technic lift arm support build for the back of the feet, and I'll be curious to see how posable this particular large figure is going to be. Now here's some pictures of the biggest one here, the Rise of Domo, $100, 1,040 pieces, 6 figs, and 1 very large, very moldy triangular cheese wedge. So I am curious to see what's on the inside of that. The monsters look cool, and I have to say in general I'm feeling a little bit weird about the Eternals figs. The prints look great, but because so many of these characters are just in essentially super suits, I kind of miss the fact that there aren't weird helmets or capes, shoulder pauldrons, belts. You know, they're all just figures with hair pieces, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But from an outsider who hasn't really been paying attention to this universe buildup, I can't say that I'm getting too grabbed by the figures just purely from their aesthetic look. Anyways, these sets are slated for release on October 1st. Let me know what you think about them in the comments below. Here's some good news. There were some rumors about the Home Alone Ideas set that is on the way. People thought that it was going to be priced at $100, and everyone was afraid that it was going to be a Home Alone vignette and not the McAllister's house. The new rumor is now that it is set to be $250, which goes right along with the idea that this is going to be a complete house. Ideas usually has a pretty good heart to price ratio in general, a bit more bang for your buck when it comes to the bricks, so you can expect a full house that opens up in some way, shape, or form. The Stratocaster set is also rumored for $100, which means you're going to be getting some pretty detailed guitars, or maybe 1 or 2 very detailed guitars. We still don't know the format of what they're actually going to look like. And then last week I did mention that there is the fan vote for the Chronicles book puzzle picture. It's an interesting development. The vote is actually being extended because one of the finalists was caught for plagiarism. The Deer in Nature entry from the builder Les Bricks de Loic was ruled that the creation was not entirely his own. You can see this build from Grant Masters. There are differences between the deer head from one version or another, but much of the fundamental shaping of the silhouette of the head looks to be darn close to identical. It seems that this model served as the initial inspiration or seed to this larger Deer in the Nature creation, and I ultimately support the decision of the Ideas crew for disqualifying this particular creation, though I do feel bad because within the custom building community, inspiration and borrowed ideas can always be a little bit of a slippery slope, and on the grand scale of what this final creation actually is. What was originally copied over actually just makes up a very small portion. Anyways, remember, when there's contests involved, absolutely 100% of a model should be an original design. And also, as a side note, if you're submitting anything to our web store, we know for sure when you're submitting somebody else's design to us, and so that doesn't get past us either. Long story short, vote is still open for this contest if you wanted to choose. And then in more news, the Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga video game is going to have an opening night Gamescom held on August 25th. It's going to be a live thing. I think they're probably showing some gameplay. They're calling it the world premiere, but I don't think it actually has a release date until sometime in 2022. Lego announced the Spike Essential educational set. You can pre-order now. It will ship out on August 31st. And this is a STEM-based educational set for basically teachers. It comes with like full lesson plans and integratable app. The lessons are geared between grades 1 and 5 for primary school kids. So if you're an educator out there and this is like something that you wanted to maybe get your hands on, I suppose, then now you know. Anyways, there's more seasonal Christmas set reveals. We did see the low resolution pic of this penguin the other day, but we did not get to see the polar bear gift pack, another $10 set, 2 different ornaments. It's a polar bear head as well as a present. The penguin is in fact $15, 244 pieces. The little arms move. Also, if you want a complete-ish list of the retiring sets at the end of 2021, that is linked below. There are a lot of sets getting retired soon, and there has been some rumble as to why that number is a bit higher than certain retiring amounts in the past. Let's finish off with some idea sets that got 10,000 votes of support. First up here is MinasTirith from the designer GJC15344. This honestly looks like what a Lego playset for MinasTirith could look like. It's got a great big shape from afar, very recognizable, but it's also scaled down in a way that feels like it could just be like one of those big massive play sets, the big one of the year, or if Lego wanted to do like a UCS style version of this Lord of the Rings scene, it might look very, very similar to something like this. Pretty darn cool. I like the approach for this one. And then we have another TV show based set that got 10,000 votes. This is The Nanny from Castor Troy. I actually really loved the show as a kid. I don't know if it was geared towards me, but I can still hear the theme song in my head. And the building itself, I mean, just for modular creator purposes, this would be awesome to have. The fig characters look good, the interiors look great, and I certainly like the idea of a TV show based ideas set actually being the physical place where the show takes place instead of the thing that's getting filmed, like let's say the Friends set or the Seinfeld one. Anyways, that's it for the news. My thoughts. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the video. Remember, links to everything are all in the description below if you want to learn more, and we'll see you next time at Brick Vault.